The clown! Duck and cover, kiddos.
Sometimes one scene is so good it captures everything great about a show. Welcome to Derry focuses on themes of pain, fear, and isolation, and how those things can make someone more appealing to forces of evil. In just a couple of minutes, the entire dynamic between Ingrid Kirsch and Bob Gray comes to a heartbreaking head. Let's take a look at why this one scene from Welcome to Derry episode 7 shows why this HBO series is Pennywise at its terrifying best. aka the Deadlights, is better known as Pennywise the Dancing Clown to fans, but that form was originally the performer Bob Gray, who killed in 1908. One of the biggest reasons found the Pennywise form appealing was that children were drawn to it.
The children seemed drawn to you.
Meaning its meals would come to him instead of having to pursue them. When Bob Gray disappeared in 1908, Ingrid was devastated. But then she started hearing children speaking of a clown in 1935, and she immediately recognized that that was her father. She learned that he would appear when horrible tragedies happened, tragedies like the Bradley Gang Massacre and later the Black Spot Fire. In 1935, Ingrid would bring children to it so she could see her father again. She became convinced that she could save him if she could draw him out and show him her periwinkle costume one more time. In Ingrid's mind, Pennywise is really her father possessed by some evil entity, and if she could get that part of him that was Bob Gray to come to the front, she could have her father back. Well, was she ever wrong? This brings us to the scene in episode 7 of Welcome to Derry. Ingrid has orchestrated the Black Spot Fire.
I knew they would come if they thought that he was here. And there would be blood and pain and fear.
She knows that this massive tragedy will be too appealing for Pennywise to resist. But she wants more than just her father back here. Ingrid has been the victim of abuse from her husband, noted racist asshole Stan the Cleaver Kirsch. It's likely that the trauma and loss Ingrid suffered as a child drove her into an abusive relationship with someone like Stanley. But this is the moment she's been waiting for. The return of her father can also mean the ending of her abuse from Stan. Ingrid has disabled Stan's vehicle, and as Stanley panics from being left behind by his wannabe clan friends, Ingrid steps out in full periwinkle costume. The costume makes her feel empowered, as it reminds her of the last time she felt like herself, before everything she loved was ripped away from her. That loss left her with a fear of being alone, a fear that made her stay with Stanley. But now, Stanley isn't needed anymore. She's going to get her father back. Stanley attempts to intimidate Ingrid, but she's defiant this time. She knows what's coming. She ignores his threats and shocks Stanley with these two simple words.
You hear me?
Hello, Papa.
Up comes Pennywise from behind Stanley, and we get maybe the most brutal kill we've seen in the It films or TV shows thus far. I've seen theories that Pennywise maybe has a moral code against domestic violence, and I don't think that's right. It is the embodiment of everything evil, including domestic abuse, and we've seen the creature taunt characters like Beverly with her abusive father in the past. So I don't think that's why the killing of Stan Kirsch is so brutal here. Instead, Pennywise knows that Ingrid has been a useful tool for it over the course of the past 2 cycles. She knows that Ingrid will continue to help as long as she believes it's her father in there. So Pennywise does the thing a loving father in Derry would do, eliminates her abusive partner. I think this is maybe the first moment Ingrid realizes she might have effed up. Her father, while a sad and troubled man, was kind at his core. To see Pennywise act with such brutality is horrifying for Ingrid, and she's reconsidering her choices a little here. Also, the way Pennywise just tosses the cleaver aside, pure gold. He treats it like garbage, just as he disposed of Stan the Cleaver like garbage. It seems to at least acknowledge, if not appreciate, Ingrid's help in creating feeding opportunities for the creature. She humors Ingrid by playing the part of Bob Gray, asking Ingrid to show Pennywise the bow, something Bob Gray had done in the episode's intro. Pennywise then does a brief clap that isn't really genuine and is clearly just humoring Ingrid. It's such great delivery by Bill Skarsgård, who is made for this character. Pennywise wants to keep Ingrid in her service, so it offers a hug to Ingrid before telling her that she's going to go to sleep now. This is the moment where Ingrid truly, fully realizes that she was wrong. Her greatest fear, being left alone, comes front and center as she desperately tries to make Pennywise stay. Then, this look by Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise says everything. Two things are happening here. It can sense the fear and panic in Ingrid, and it is drawn to that. But also, it is realizing that Ingrid will no longer accept the ruse, and she must be dealt with. That's when Pennywise moves to instead taunt Ingrid, as she acknowledges that this isn't really her fault. The moment the clown takes to think before answering isn't confusion or a realization that she'd been caught. It is merely toying with Ingrid and basking in her terror. She repeatedly, mockingly tells Ingrid that he really is Bob Gray, but Ingrid knows the truth now. Pennywise is simply preying on her at this point. In my opinion, Ingrid is maybe the most tragic character of the entire season. Her love for her father is her driving force, to the point that she'll do even terrible things to see him again. But in the moment of truth, she realizes how she's been used and manipulated for decades. Then, with 3 simple words,
Papa.
Ingrid is shown the deadlights and put into the same trance that Will would experience at the end of this episode. This scene is everything great about the show. It captures the hope, fear, pain, and suffering of the characters in Derry, and showcases this version of Pennywise as the most brutal and violent yet. Let me know what you think of the scene below in comments. Remember to throw a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more on it, Stephen King, and horror. Have a great day, everybody, and stay scared out there.